war. We all want an end to war, even though there is no proxy war between the United States of America and Russia. There certainly hasn't been a new multi-year authority contract made between the American government and the American arms industry, because that would indicate an ongoing war would be a financial necessity. Oh! Hello there, you 6 million awakening wonders. Thanks for joining me on this voyage to truth and freedom. You know by now that the algorithm is against us and against truth and supports mainstream media and their peddling of lies. You know that censorship is occurring. That's why we need you to turn on the notification bell right now and subscribe to this channel immediately. Today's story is a story that you are familiar with. The true power in American politics is the arms industry. No matter which party is in power, the arms industry gets what they need. A recent contract suggests that they have multi-year authority in Ukraine. So any talk of diplomacy, any talk of peace will be secondary to this contract. Let's get into it. There is legislation pending in Congress that indicates that the US government believes the Ukraine war may continue for years. On October the 11th, the Senate Armed Services Committee submitted its amended draft to the National Defense Authorization Act for 2023. Nestled within the draft is a provision that would establish an emergency multi-year plan to award massive defense contracts to Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, BAE Systems, and other war corporations to produce weapons for Ukraine and to replenish US stockpiles, as well as those of foreign allies and partners. Allies, partners, customers? No, allies, partners. An amendment spearheaded by New Hampshire Democrat Senator Jan Shaheen and co-sponsored by Texas Republican Senator John Cornyn, Democrat, Republican, but would allow the Pentagon to award non-competitive no-bid contracts to arms manufacturers under the plan. No bids, good old capitalism. Competition produces entrepreneurship and genius, and without it, we'd all be dead. This weapons contract might bring about a few deaths, but plenty of money. This, as military-industrial complex giant Northrop Grumman introduces its B-21 Raider. The B-21, whose development was 30 years in the making and whose total project cost is expected to exceed $200 billion, is tapped to replace the B-2 Spirit. This sounds to me like the kind of weapon that we can all get behind. Not a terrifying machine of death and destruction, but something that ought to be fetishized like it was a new iPhone.
The United States Air Force has a new strategic long-range stealth bomber, and it's built in Palmdale. The military says its destructive power is unmatched.
Talking about it in such glowing terms, do you see how we've become normalized to the profiteering around the weapons industry, the normalization of death and destruction, and almost a certain kind of pride in it, in the sense that this isn't something that should be queried, and that it's a good use of public resources. Look, I'm as vulnerable as the next person to the imagery in Top Gun Maverick. I find it very, very enthralling. Wait till you see this stuff. It's going to blow your mind. In some cases, quite literally, without you seeing it coming.
An Air Force project long under wraps is a secret no more.
She's not talking about a new flavour of Ben & Jerry's. Oh my God, the festive season's going to be great. There's cinnamon. This is a machine of death and destruction. I think, and let me know in the comments and chat what you think, that the mainstream media should be interrogating and investigating whether this is the direction you want to head in. This is a time of collapse and crisis and conflict of various kinds. Just to blindly and blandly and blithely celebrate the introduction of a new weapon seems to me to be an extraordinary approach. What do you think?
It was unveiled tonight in a ceremony that looked like a Hollywood production.
In a display fit for Hollywood.
Why is everyone talking about it being like Hollywood? It's not Hollywood, because in Hollywood, people don't die that often.
The Pentagon showed off the new long-range B-21 Raider in Palmdale, California last night.
Like, it's coming on from under that sheet with like all trepidation and stuff. I'm actually feeling a bit aroused, and I don't even think I like war.
Amid rising tensions with China, North Korea, and Russia.
So we're going to need it because these wars are inevitable. You could say it's a real highway to the danger zone. Oh, nice one.
It has quite literally been shrouded in secrecy.
It's literally shrouded because it's under that thing. People use literally when they mean metaphorically.
America's newest long-range stealthy strategic bomber, the B-21 Raider.
So it's literally shrouded in tarpaulin.
Like the B-2, it's meant to penetrate enemy defenses undetected, and it's capable of delivering nuclear weapons.
Well, that is good news. Here I was thinking that you were delivering a puff piece on the militarization of commerce and celebrating future wars, but it actually can drop nuclear weapons. Oh, that's reassuring. Let me speak to my kids actually and tell them about this.
The B-21 Raider is the first strategic bomber in more than 3 decades.
Lloyd Austin there, currently the United States Secretary of Defense. Let's see what he's got in his CV. Worked at Raytheon. God, that's coincidence because you're going to be doing a lot of contracts with Raytheon.
It is a testament to America's enduring advantages in ingenuity and innovation.
So it's sort of both like propaganda, patriotism, genius jingoism, distraction, aggravating and agitating for more conflict because it's sort of profitable, that we have to regard war positively. We can't be circumspect or tired or weary or frightened or disgusted by war. Do you see how on one hand you're invited to view the tyranny of Putin as disgusting and egregious, and then on the other hand the creation of these war machines as brilliant and ingenious? Now, of course, a simple way of holding those two ideas, I suppose, is yeah, but it's because of Putin we have to do this. But do you really believe that? Do you really not think that NATO impingement on former Soviet Union territories contributed to this current conflict? That doesn't, by the way, mean that what Putin's doing is right. Of course it doesn't. That doesn't mean that the people of Ukraine oughtn't be protected, looked after, taken care of. But do you notice that the type of care that they are being offered and given is profitable for some of the most powerful interests in global economics? Do you think that's a coincidence? Are you noticing that the solutions to the problems we have are always profitable to the world's most powerful corporation? I mean, I don't know. What are they? Is that why they're so successful? Have they got crystal balls? What is it?
Even the cost of the B-21 has not been made public, although it's estimated at a staggering $750 million apiece.
Even that, we're invited to go, oh, well done. Like it's like a basketball player or a footballer. We must be good then.
What do the taxpayers get for their money? A weapon designed to deter aggression or respond to it.
How dare they frame it as if it's beneficial to taxpayers? Okay, taxpayers, here's those elite jets that you ordered. Well, couldn't we get some, like, energy for our homes and some food for our mouths and some recompense for the 2008 crash that the same interests also caused? The people that are going to benefit from this are the weapons industry. If there's an inadvertent side effect, a few Ukrainian people are saved down the line when enough profit's been extracted from this situation, that may happen, and maybe that's enough for you. But to present it as if it's something that this is beneficial to all and ordinary Americans, just actually a lie. Sometimes we forget, don't we, that the news is just a television program. They're just broadcasting convenient ideas for the most powerful interests in the world. So whenever anything's presented itself as radical, you have to look, well, why would they put that on the television if it was truly at odds with the interests of the most powerful corporations in the world, which in truth own significant parts, either directly or tangentially, of these very media organisations? Let me know in the comments, let me know in the chat how oppositional ideas will ever reach a significant number of people.
Every time and everywhere.
But look at where it's coming out. That is like Hollywood. They've both mentioned like Hollywood in their scripts, both of those newscasters. And indeed it is, because we're not being invited to look at it with any personal integrity or from a sort of a helicopter perspective of, hold on, what's actually happening here? Do we want this war? Is this what we really want? I mean, this is your life and my life. This is our time on the planet. And there's so much bewildering stimuli that you can't ever sort of inhale and go, well, who am I really? Is this what I want? Well, yeah, you're a very lucky taxpayer. Look, it will respond to aggression or will deter aggression. Well, it better get ready for my aggression. It is ready for your aggression, and so are your recently militarized police forces.
That's what America does.
That's what America does. Steals from the taxpayer. Profits, Raytheon. No, protects Ukrainians. That's what America does.
And here at Palmdale, you have done it once again.
That's all it takes. That's all it takes. You have done it once again. Oh, good. All right, let's just go back to our lives and stare dumbly at screens till your next need us to do something ridiculous and outrageous to satiate your constant lust for power and money. It's a pandemic now. Okay, it's a war. All right then. Fucking hell.
The world has never seen technology like the B-21.
It's a shame that Northrop Grumman, which makes very high-tech machines, sounds like something that was invented by a North Yorkshire farmer in England 100 years ago. I, Northrop Grumman, very proud plane. Use this plane to spray me crops. Use it to put bilge into the pig trough. I put on my gum boots and I get into plane and I spray all my bilge down to pigs. Sir, get away from that plane. I'm a taxpayer, I am. Not in this country now, fuck off.
I'm thrilled that the time has come for you and the world to see the B-21 Raider.
Maybe that is why the military fund films like Maverick, Top Gun, because it all starts to bleed into the same thing. Because I saw that film and I loved it. There's a review of it on this channel. It's a great film. But the reason I like it is because it's a film, not because it's actually happened. You're really going to love it. Here it comes. Highway to the danger zone. We have to remember how many innocent people have been killed as a result of activity by countries like yours and countries like mine as a result of colonialism, imperialism, propping up the corporate agenda. If it's about humanitarianism, just say to Raytheon and Lockheed Martin, would you mind making these things, but just at cost, and just extract any profit. So don't have a memo to your shareholders saying that we've got multi-year authority in Ukraine so we can look forward to many years of profit. Take that back. So we've decided, because it's the right thing to do, to make these things at cost. The same way that Albert Bourla, CEO of Pfizer, said it would be appalling for us to profit from the vaccines. But I don't know if you know this already, Pfizer had their most profitable year in their history. So how far is that from what they told you? And if you talk about this, you're the conspiracy theorist. How have they got this game so stitched up? Let me know in the chat, man, because I'm baffled. Like a drumbeat, that people are going to die as a result of that machine. That's not good, is it? It's not good. I mean, America has been through Vietnam now, has been through the soul searching of what it did to a generation of young Americans, and of course the people in Vietnam. It's not like we're still at the stage of like, we'll show it to Jerry and Hitler. This war is a great and noble war. We just know now that war is always about resources or power. Whatever they say it is, it ain't that. It's about money. Otherwise it wouldn't look like that on the TV, would it? Like a hair metal band. Oh, unnecessary war. But we're going to have to do like Axl Rose come out there, start screaming down your face that this is necessary and good for children. You should be pleased about it. Skullduggery.
Kathy, great to be with you today.
It's so great to have you here with us, Morgan. Thank you for joining us.
Why is Northrop Grumman even on the news? The profiteering military-industrial complex. Why are you on the news? Why would the news cooperate in presenting this information to you as if it's necessary, beneficial, ordinary, worthy of celebration? Why? Because it's one system. I can't keep telling you this. I really can't.
It's a major milestone.
Kathy, I just think it's so good that you, a woman, have come to a position of authority in such a male-dominated industry as the military-industrial complex. I mean, this is just great. We've got an award for you. Of all the people that have been profiting from death around the world, you are the only one with a vagina, so we've got you this trophy. Sorry about the shape. It's inappropriate. We realize now that we shouldn't have focused on the vagina.
And I realize it's a highly classified program and it's been very secretive up until now, but what can you share about what we're going to see at the unveiling tonight?
Like it's a premiere. It's a weapon. What the fuck is going on? It's not entertainment. Why is this happening?
And how it speaks to the capabilities of this.
This bit is called Squawk on the Street. What does that mean even? What the hell's going on? Is this real news? They say that we're like lunatics and conspiracy theorists. Russell Brand is insane. Don't do a thing called Squawk on the Street. These weapons are great. Get behind it. You might as well. You fucking paid for it.
Well, the B-21 Raider is a long-range strike aircraft, and what that means is it has the range to go anywhere in the world and
Didn't you say harm people and hurt people?
Keep a target at risk. It also is a platform, though, that is low observable, and that means it can enter enemy airspace and not be detected.
Oh, that is good news. How many weddings are you going to destroy this year?
So there's several layers so far to the contracting process around this program.
Look at this. They're actually putting on the news that their stock prices are improving. Why do we care? There's a cost of living crisis. There's an unnecessary war. People are falling apart. Existential despair. People don't know what to believe in anymore. The whole culture's collapsing. But look at Northrop Grumman. In spite of their stupid old-timey name, they're making big bucks. Oh, that is good news. Thank you. Daddy, can you turn the heating on? No, but Northrop Grumman can turn the heat up on North Korea, Iraq, Iran, and all sorts of other profitable territories.
Now poised to, with this first flight, which I believe is for early next year, scheduled for early next year, right?
It's not a tour. It's not One Direction. What's going on? When did this become entertainment?
The B-21, it's one of several major programs that Northrop Grumman has right now. The reason that analysts expect this company to grow and be the fastest growing defense prime over the coming decade.
That is good news. Well done.
Also, I think a reason why you are forecasting top-line growth next year.
I feel really great about Northrop Grumman's increasing profits, and I don't see any connection between that and an appetite to remain in this conflict in Ukraine. Well, oh, come on. Grow up, you conspiracy theorist.
I guess speak to us about how you are able to grow in this environment.
The way we're winning work and being successful on programs like the B-21 Raider is because our people are incredibly innovative.
Perhaps part of the ingenuity is related to this. House supporters of the bill for a new $850 billion military budget got 7 times more money from military contractors than opponents. Fucking hell, that is ingenious. If you keep giving politicians money, they will vote to give you more money in exchange. Brilliant. Of the $858 billion the bill authorizes for the Pentagon, private companies should expect over half. That's $450 billion. So that's really interesting. They give money to Congress, then Congress gives money back to them. but more money. It really is ingenious. The 430 members who cast votes on the bill received $14.5 million in campaign and PAC contributions from the arms industry from 2021 through October 2022, according to data from Open Secrets. In 2020, 74% of Lockheed Martin's revenue came from congressionally approved funding. That's their entire business. And for Northrop Grumman and those geniuses that we just saw there on the news, 84% of it. So that ingenuity that she's talking about is the ingenious idea of taking your money. 84% of their entire business comes from bribing Congress to give them your money. That is a good business model. They're geniuses. I don't have enough money. Well, guess what? They've got more than enough fucking money because they're ingenious and apparently you ain't. Why are the mainstream media offering themselves up to make puff pieces of this nature for the military-industrial complex? And do you see a connection between this kind of reporting and an unwillingness to deal with the complexity of the conditions of this horrific war? Let me know in the comments, let me know in the chat. Trust in national media has declined to an all-time low. No wonder. All they're doing is lying to you on behalf of their paymasters. By the numbers, for the first time ever, fewer than half of all Americans have trust in traditional media, according to data from Edelman's annual trust barometer shared exclusively with Axios. 56% of Americans agree with the statement that journalists and reporters are purposely trying to mislead people by saying things they know are false or gross exaggerations. Well, just look at that news broadcast, and no wonder there's so much machinery in place to create an air of misinformation and disinformation and doubt that causes you to be suspicious of information you might get from independent media. Of course, I know that social media has a lot of nonsense on it, but there's also a lot of independent journalists that are endeavouring to try and tell you the truth, and we count ourselves among them. 58% think that most news organisations are more concerned with supporting an ideology or political position than with informing the public. So what we have here is a media machine working hard to create popular support through grammar, reductiveness, simplification, and just mind-numbing corruption, deceit and simplicity, celebrating the profits of companies like Raytheon and Northrop Grumman at the time where there's a massive cost of living crisis, when people are choosing between heating and eating. You shouldn't have news stories where people go, look at this glistening $750 million aeroplane at a time where people are starving hungry and freezing cold and blaming Putin, who in fact seems like the biggest benefactor the military-industrial complex could wish for. Merry Christmas! Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please have a look at either of these. Turn on the notification bell because the algorithm is not your friend. Subscribe to this channel because we make content every single day. Watch us live on Rumble at these times. More important than any of that is that you please stay free.